We Top Talent Series Season 4, where we invite the most prominent HR leadership voices to share their insights and experiences on and around the current HR ecosystem. Joining us today is Navjot Mehra, Head of Talent Acquisition, Tata Consumer Products. A quick introduction about Navjot before we start. Navjot is an HR professional with close to a decade of experience spanning across multiple verticals within HR, including learning, performance management, and employee engagement. She is currently heading the talent acquisition function at Tata Consumer Products. Prior to this, she worked in diverse organizations like Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages, Godrej Industries, and Reliance. With this, a very warm welcome, Navjot. It is indeed a delight to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Manan. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, I'm sure we are all looking forward to a very interesting discussion. Now, to set the context for this conversation, let me go ahead with my first question to you. Can you share some of the most prominent challenges that you face in the TA space and your strategies to overcome them?
Sure. So Manan, TCPL as an organization came into being when COVID was just knocking on our door. So Feb of 2020 is when TCPL became an entity, when Tata Global Beverages and CPG business of chemicals came together, right? And it was it's a mandate which was envisioned to bring in Tata Group on the forefront of FMCG space. And we started with F&B as our core sector, but we could see Tata Consumer Products moving into multiple other categories within FMCG in the future to come, right? While we may be just 3 years old, we breathe. So one of the DNA that we strongly carry within us is our Tata Code of Conduct, which is something which goes like it's more than centuries old, right? And it started with when first time a Tata organization was brought into being. And we really work on the trust that the consumer and customers, they place on us, right? Our employees, they then also have this responsibility to ensure that we live this code of conduct day in, day out, right? There's a respect and dignity that is attached with Tata brand. So getting talent on board, which appreciates the high growth phase that we are in right now, but at the same time is building the future of the organization, taking along the past of the organization, right? So being able to build the future with the legacy that we come with, right? So that's a big challenge that we have. So getting people on board who are in line with what we are trying to build here, right? And who balance both the aspects of people, of processes, and the aspirations that we have. So that is one big challenge, and that is something that we try and fulfill every single day as the sourcing partners for all our different businesses and verticals.
Okay, so thank you for that elaborate answer, Navjot. That was, very beautifully put. Now, I wouldn't really want to disrupt the whole flow of this conversation. So let me just quickly move on to my next question.
Sure.
So, according to you and your industry demands, what type of skill shortages do you think are causing the talent war?
So to answer this question, Manan, I would break it into two parts.
Sure.
First one would talk about your technical skills, right? And it's a very, very technical answer that I may have over here. So over the last couple of years, especially post-COVID came in, there is a spike in the demand for the organizations growing their tech and their digital space, right? Now it could be functions related to your digital transformation within sales and operations, your digital marketing, growing D2C brands, growing their presence in the e-com space, right? So digital and tech has grown significantly over the last 3 to 4 years, which means that the demand for talent there, because these were net new spaces for most of the organizations. So getting the right kind of talent, which has the right skills and the right hands-on experience, is a challenge that we have, and there is a scarcity of talent over there, right? Because this is a space wherein you are able to build a differentiation for yourself as an organization. So that would be one space I may want to highlight. If I come on the softer skill aspects, more than ever in the past, like right now, the pace at which organizations are growing, the pace at which the market outside is evolving, right? Apart from having a strong business understanding, you need folks, you need talent who have very strong leadership skills, right? Who are able to combine strategy and execution at the same time, taking along the people and making them grow along with the organization, right? So that I would say is a big uh, ask, and getting folks who balance both, which is their technical know-how, their business understanding, and at the same time their ability to manage people across, right? Whether it be team members, peers, stakeholders, seniors, right? So that again becomes something which is very important. And you don't find that kind of combinations that easily.
Okay, Navjot. So it's very interesting that you mentioned soft skills because just the other day I came across a research paper that quoted soft skills as the new power skills of the millennium. So,
Right.
my next question to you is how do you see the importance of soft skills evolving in the future?
Right. So, so in like with Tata Consumers, we are working towards imbibing a growth mindset across the organization. This is something which we are in the process of rising, part of our day-to-day conversation when it comes to performance, talent, learning, and growth, right? So soft skills, as you said, yes, it's something which is of utmost importance right now with the kind of changes we are seeing, right? So while it's almost like while we call out soft skills, they are actually the hardest things to find in talent, right? So it's easier to work with machines, it's easier to create strategies, but to be able to take people along, and going back to my previous answer, right? So it's becoming even more important, and to be able to get that in the talent is something which is of utmost importance, and it's not that easy to get, right? If I have to elaborate more on the growth mindset, or when we say leadership skills, right? So empathy, to be able to connect with uh, individuals with diverse point of view, creating a clear and continuous line of communication with your team down below, right? Or connect with the last mile, whether it be your consumer or your feet on street, right? These become some of the critical pillars when it comes to your leadership skills, or if you want to call it a soft skill.
Thank you for that beautiful answer, Navjot, once again. So now let me just move on to my last question for this interview. What are your employee engagement strategies, especially when we talk about this, remote and hybrid work setup?
Right. So, as an organization, we understand that hybrid is something which gives talent a space to be productive, to grow. So, we continue supporting a hybrid kind of a workspace, right? Wherein, say, 3 days out of 5, you are expected to be in office, and then 2 days you could choose to work from home. Now, that does come with its own set of challenges, and primarily the one uh, one can think about is ensuring that there is a continuous communication that happens. And secondly, you continue to be in touch with the employees on the floor, right? So, as HR function, as HR business partners, it becomes very important to still continue to have a pulse on how employees are feeling on the ground, right? So, um, keeping that in mind, as an organization, as an HR function, we ensure that we continue connecting with employees on the floor. While that's a very day-to-day kind of a space, um, investing in people manager capabilities, because somewhere how an employee feels connected with the organization depends a lot on how their people managers share their goals with them or objectives, how they celebrate small wins, right? So, ensuring that our people managers understand the importance of this day to day connect with their team members and the clarity in communication. So, we try and invest in that. Then there are regular sessions that happen on employee well-being. We do have an EAP, employee assistance program, which our employees do use, and we do propagate it amongst them, right? So if I have to summarize it, keeping a clear line of communication, keeping a sense on what's happening on the ground, building people manager capabilities, and investing in employee well-being is something that we do to ensure that we are able to keep folks engaged even in this hybrid way of working.
So that was indeed very neatly described, and I'm sure our audiences will resonate with your thoughts. So thank you for sharing such wonderful insights, Navjot. It was an absolute delight to have you with us today. Now, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Manan. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot, Priyanshi.
So, to the viewer specifically, thanks for tuning in. We will be back soon with another engaging episode of the We Talk Talent series. Till then, keep watching and keep talking.